Hey guys, it's LegoMatic9, and today I'm going to be doing a part 14 of my custom LEGO The Walking Dead minifigures. Now this time I have actually six instead of 5, brand new minifigures to show you guys, and you guys have been requesting some of these for a long time. I'm very happy to be showing you guys these finally. So I have a brand new version of Eugene, very much needed upgrade. I have Dwight. I have Carl without his eye, so sorry, spoilers. I have Jesus, I have Rosita, and then also a little surprise guest. So wait until the end of the video to see that. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get this video started. So we're going to start off with some older characters, then move our way into the newer ones. So we're going to start off with Carl without his eye. So sorry if I spoiled that for anybody, but this figure has been really highly requested by all of you guys, and a lot of you were saying, oh, just make him without his eye, or make him with an eye patch or anything like that, but I just wanted to make him based off of his appearance in the mid-season premiere, which was one of my favorite episodes. And so this is the one where he loses his eye, and I just really like how this figure turned out. It's actually pretty simple. It's just my old Carl figure with the eye carved out and then a poncho made for it, so it wasn't a lot of work. The poncho is just made out of computer paper, and then the guts and stuff were sculpted on using green stuff. So that was pretty simple. And then I just painted it in different shades of red to, you know, blood and stuff. And then the face was just a Luke Skywalker head, and then I just repainted the mouth so it was a little, you know, more neutral, because originally it was smiling, and I don't really think anybody would be smiling after they got their eyes shot out. And then his eye was carved out and then painted in red and just different shades of red and black also. So yeah, there's a good look at it right there. So you can see that just carved in and then painted, all the blood and stuff was painted on there. So pretty cool. Some of you may be wondering, oh, like with the hat and hair combination, it's kind of getting old. I think I'm going to be redoing that later on in a future Carl figure. Just this version is just like the Indiana Jones fedora, and the skater hair is kind of getting outdated. He's getting a lot longer hair, and his hat is, you know, it's not really working for me anymore. So I think I'm just going to redo all of that in a future Carl figure with his eye patch and everything. So it's just going to be a whole new Carl figure. So this is just, you know, an updated version of my older one. Yeah, so there's Carl.
No, after everything we've been through, you are not looking out that door unless you can tell me why!
So here's an updated version of Rosita. Now this figure definitely needed an upgrade from my previous version. The previous version just was not good anymore, and it was severely outdated. So this one is based off of her outfit in early season 6, I want to say. I can't remember if she wore this in No Way Out, but I kind of regret not doing her gray jacket outfit. But this one works for now. I'll probably update her at a later date, but this one works for now. She's armed with a minifig cat. I think it's a P226 or whatever you want to call it. The cool thing about this pistol is that you can take it out, and I actually do have a functioning holster that was just made out of some cloth, so you can just take the pistol and just put it in the holster like that, and it fits in there nice and snug. So I really like that. I think I have a spare holster that I can use for another figure if I want. Maybe I'll put it on Rick or something. So I think that's pretty cool. So on her legs, she's got some electrical tape run around her knees. She had some sort of like leathery material on there, so I just decided to put that on there just to make it look cooler than her boots and socks are painted on. Moving on to her torso, this is an airy light curved torso with the details painted on in gloss black and white, so you can see those reflecting that light right there. So you get a better look at those. And then she's got weathering and stuff on her arms there, which is pretty nice, just in some brown and also in some red. And then she's got her gloves painted on there. Her face, I think, is just the same face that I used for my old Rosita, just with the eyebrows repainted. And then her hat and her hair combination has been changed. So instead of that Indian headdress that like went down on her shoulders and stuff, I changed it to a ponytail because that's what she's been sporting recently. So it's the painter's hat with the ponytail combination on there. So that looks pretty nice. Really like how that turned out. It's kind of, I think it's pretty seamless, and I really like how that turned out. So that's actually one piece. These are glued together, so if I want, I just gotta grab that. So I can take that off just like that. So yeah, one piece right there, pretty cool. And then I can just put it back on. So if I ever want to use this for another figure or something, I can. So I really like that that feature. So that is pretty much it for Rosita. Definitely an upgrade from my previous Rosita. The old one was just awful looking compared to this. So yeah, let's keep moving.
Why did you... I called dibs. You had zero authority.
To what? Stop you from dying?
I had full control of the situation.
You'd had better luck picking up a turd by its clean end.
So along with Rosita, I updated one of her companions, which is Eugene. Now, Eugene definitely needed an upgraded. The old version was just so bad compared to this. Just, I don't know what I was thinking on that figure. It just was awful. And I'm so happy that I did this version, because this version is so much better from that. So if you want to look back, I think it was part 6, where I had my old versions of Rosita and Eugene. And so those versions were just so awful compared to these new ones. These new ones are definitely a lot better. So Eugene here is armed with a Brick Arms machete that has been painted up a little bit. I think this is just my spare red-handled machete that I had on one of my Rick figures. He's just armed with that because that's all he's been really using lately. And then I think this was based off of the outfit he wore in the episode where they went to find Jesus, or they found Jesus. So episode 610, I think that was called The Next World, maybe? I can't remember. But yeah, so this version's a lot better than my previous version. He's got the shorts that are on there, the tan shorts with the pockets painted on the sides there in brown, and then he's got the skin color showing. And he also had brown and khaki socks showing. His belt turned out really nice. I actually really am loving this belt on this figure. Turned out a lot better than I was expecting. Then his torso is just in the sand blue color. I think that's the official Lego term for that. And he's got the dark blue details painted on there, as well as the white and the dark gray. And then he also has some wrinkles and stuff, and then some blood and dirt here and there. And then his head is a modified Frodo head, I want to say. And just the eyebrows were changed up, and then I can't remember if I did anything. No, I didn't change the mouth, but I painted on like the wrinkles by his mouth, so you can kind of see those right there. And then I also gave him just some, I guess some stubble or whatever, going from his sideburns and kind of like going under his chin, so he kind of has like a neck beard going, because he has some facial hair, but it's not a lot. So I painted that on there just to make it look a lot less plain. And then this hairpiece is so much better than my previous version. This is the official Lego mullet hairpiece that has been painted up and modified a little bit, so it looks like a Eugene mullet. I absolutely love this hairpiece. Just compared to the previous version, my previous mullet was just awful. Oh my god, I'm just thinking back to it. I think it was an Airy Light mullet that I tried modifying to look good, and I don't know what I was thinking with that. Just that version was just so awful compared to this one. So definitely love this Eugene figure a lot more than my old one. Now Eugene is actually slowly becoming one of my favorite characters on the show. Just his catchphrases and his moments with Abraham and everything like that is just hilarious. I'm starting to just really love this character, so he's becoming one of my favorites. Yeah, let's move on to some more figures.
Paul Rovia. But my friends used to call me Jesus. Your pick.
So here's one of the newer good guy characters in Season 6, and that is Jesus. So Jesus here was heavily inspired by my friend Shane, or The Last Prime, so definitely check out his channel. I'll post a link in the description below, so go check him out. So this figure was pretty fun to make because he looks a lot different from a whole bunch of my other Walking Dead figures, and that's mainly because he has a trench coat. So what I did for that is I just took a Cape Madness trench coat and I modified it so it you know, it can fit around everything, and I just changed up the collars and stuff, and I actually had to modify it a lot in the back so I could fit the hairpiece over that. He's armed with a Brick Arms UCS, which has the ejection port painted in a gunmetal, so I'm just going to take that out of his hand for now. And then, let's see if I can open this up a little bit so you guys can see that maybe. There we go. You guys can kind of see that. It's just really dark in there because of this trench coat. So you can just see the details I painted onto his jacket there, and the gloss black, and then I have the zipper and the scarf and stuff painted on there. Then he has the fabric belt, and then he also has the, there's a better angle, he also has some electrical tape on his legs. Now his legs are a very dark brown color, the Lego dark brown, so you can barely see that that electrical tape on his legs there. There's kind of a better view of it. So you can see that tape right there. He just had some straps there So I just wanted to add those on there. Not a lot of detail on his coat, because his coat was, I was looking at it and it didn't seem like it had any buttons or holes on it. It just seemed like it was just a coat that he wore, just a normal trench coat. And then his face, I forget what face it is. I just painted the eyebrows and the beard on. I think it turned out pretty nice. And then his hat and his hair combination, yes, it's one piece. They're glued together. I think it was just a standard Lego beanie, and then it was the Ginny hairpiece from Harry Potter. So that was modified a little bit. I think it was thinned down a little bit on the sides, and then I sculpted some stuff on it just to get it so it's flush with the hat. And I painted it in a brown color. So I think it turned out pretty nice. So Jesus, you know, he's pretty simple. He wasn't really too hard to make. The main thing was just his torso, painting all of the lines and stuff on his jacket, because it had that one, like one of those puffy jacket patterns. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for Jesus. Oh, he also has dark blue gloves. Forgot to mention that. And then his arms are painted in that same gray color that the coat is. So yeah, that is pretty much it for Jesus.
You're going to let us into your little complex. It looks like it's just beautiful in there. And then you're going to let us take whatever and whoever we want.
So now we have one of the newer villains on the show, and that is Dwight. So a funny story about this figure, and actually a really cool story, is that I posted this figure on Instagram and on Twitter, and I just tagged Austin Melio, who is the guy who plays Dwight in the show, and he actually reposted it on his Instagram, so I felt like that was really cool. Definitely something really unique about this figure is that this is actually the first figure that has been recognized by a cast member on The Walking Dead. So I just thought that was really cool, and big thanks to Austin for reposting it. I just can't thank him enough for that. It was just awesome. So he's armed with Daryl's crossbow, of course, because that is what he's been using recently. So I'll just take that out of his hands for now. So his legs there, just, you know, your standard dark blue legs with the shoes painted on. His torso, I really like how his torso came out. It was just a light gray torso. I think his shirt might have been white, but I just went with the light gray because I felt like it might look better, and I just couldn't really tell at that point, so I just made it light gray. So don't be mad if it's actually white. And then he's got his plaid red shirt painted on underneath that, and the pattern extends onto his on his shoulders there, not on his elbows, on his shoulders there. He's got electrical tape on there to resemble rolled up sleeves. His sleeves were like really short, and they were rolled up too, so that's why they might appear a little shorter, or the roll up might seem a little small, and that's because it did look small. So I think it was just the shirt just went down to like a little bit past his elbow, and he rolled it up, so that might be why. He has a cloth vest, which is what I'm planning on doing for my new Daryl figure whenever I make one of those. So I'll use a cloth vest for that. Nothing on the back except for the plaid pattern on his belt there. So jacket turned out really nice. He's got the pockets and stuff painted on there, and the buttons and everything, and the buttonholes. And then he also has the belt painted on right there. And he's got the tattoos painted on his arms there. So on that side, I don't know what it is. Might be an anchor or something. And then on that side, I'm not really sure what they were, but they're definitely cool looking. So those were pretty fun to make. Those really small lines. Moving on to his head, that was actually the most fun I've ever had making a head before, even though it's kind of getting frustrating at some point, because it was really hard just picking out a base head for Dwight. So I think I went with an Anakin Skywalker head from a Revenge of the Sith set from a while ago. I forget what it was. I just bought it off Bricklink, and I'm just guessing where it's from. But what I did on that is I just erased everything except for the eyes, actually, and then I painted on his cheekbones, painted on a new mouth. Now, I think I might change the mouth later on, but this one works for now. Just more of a neutral expression. He's got the mustache and the goatee painted on there. He also does have some like light stubble it's going up right there. He's got the eyebrows painted on. Then the most fun thing about making this figure is actually the scar on the side of his head. And I think that turned out really nice. So if I actually could take this off just to show you how far it goes back. So I was just going at it with an X-Acto knife, just going at that scar right there. So you can see it's kind of just using an X-Acto knife, carved away at it. I think it turned out pretty nice. I'll see if I can zoom in at all on that. So you can kind of see it a little better. So just all of that detail just carved right in there. Let's see if I can block out any of this light. So there, okay, yeah, there's a little, that's a little better. So you can see that carved out quite a bit in there. I really like that. It was carved out, and then I painted over it in some like dark flesh color, and then washed it in some red and in some purple and stuff, just to give it that kind of like swollen look. So that's his burn mark, I believe. Didn't want to say how he got that for just for that surprise in the show whenever they tell us how it happened. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Dwight. I actually really like this figure. He's one of my favorites that I've made, actually. So yeah, that is pretty much it for Dwight.
Pissing our pants yet? Boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close. It's gonna be pee-pee pants city here real soon.
So now here's the figure a lot of you have been requesting ever since the Season 6 finale last week, and this is none other than Negan.
Look, Dad, taking it like a champ.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be doing a cliffhanger like AMC thought would be a good idea to do for The Walking Dead. That part just made me so mad because that episode was so good. Up until the last 10 seconds, they completely ruined a part of the comics by doing that, and they pissed off so many people. I think their intentions were to get people to get on board for next season, but now they are losing viewers and losing fans because they decided to do this. So, plan kind of backfired on them, but before I go off on a rant like I've been doing on numerous other takes of this part, so here's Negan. I really love how he turned out. One of my favorite figures that I've made so far for The Walking Dead, and I just really love how he turned out. He's one of my favorite characters now just because his introduction was so badass, and just his lines were straight out of the comics, and they're just amazing. He's one of my favorite characters now, and yeah, so he's armed, of course, with Lucille, the baseball bat. So this is just a Brick Arms bat that was kind of dry brushed in some different shades of brown, and then I wrapped some wire around it. Now this wire is made out of the twisty ties that you get on like packages of bread and stuff. We have to like strip the plastic off of it, so I think I used 3 or 4 of those on that, on Lucille there. And then I also painted on some red here and there on the barbed wire, just resembled, you know, some dried up blood or whatever. So back onto Negan, he actually does have extended legs. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is a slight height difference between him and normal figures. So if I take like this makeshift Maggie here and stand her up, I guess, yeah, that's about right there. You can see that their feet, they're level with each other, but Negan is just a tad taller. I just want to do that because Negan's a big guy. In the comics, he's I think he's 6'8". But in the show he's 6'2", so I just wanted to resemble, you know, that height difference just a little bit. So I think it's all right. I could have made him a little taller, but you know, this works for now. So with extending the legs, there was a little gap, so I covered that up with electrical tape on his boots there, which kind of resemble, you know, the pants going into the boots. So that looks pretty nice. And then I also painted on the wrinkles and stuff on his legs right there. Moving on to his torso, his jacket is actually made out of electrical tape, so I want to give credit where it's due for that, and that goes to my buddy Shane and my buddy Dylan. So Delas Prime and the Moose Figs, they both suggested this idea to me, because we were originally going to be doing 3 separate Negans, but then we all ended up using electrical tape for the jackets. But, you know, we all have our different ways of painting and stuff, so they all look, you know, they look different enough. So definitely go check out their versions. Their Negans are really good, so check them out. I'll post links to their social media stuff in the description below. But anyway, jacket's made out of electrical tape, and what I did for that is I actually elevated the collar a little bit by adding another piece of electrical tape on there. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, maybe. There we go. So you can see that, you know, the collar and stuff, and then it was outlined in some gray, and he's also got some silver buttons and stuff up there too. And then he also has these silver zippers all over the place. Then his belt at the bottom of his jacket, that black one, was also made out of electrical tape, and then I painted on the buckle and stuff in gunmetal. Then he kind of has belt loops. You can kind of see him. I didn't choose to outline them because I felt like it would be kind of too much towards the belt there, and yeah, so I didn't do that. The belt goes all the way around his torso, so if I turn him around all the way, you can see. You can kind of see it. It's out of that gloss black, so it's kind of hard to see it there. But okay, yeah, there you can see the belt loops and stuff made on there. Then his scarf was made out of a piece of fabric that I put around his neck there. So that's on there. I painted that in red and kind of added some dark red lines here and there to resemble wrinkles. Oh yeah, then he also has 3 belts, which is kind of weird. So you can see he's got the belt on the end of his jacket. Then he has his belt like on his actual belt piece. Then he has this this piece of fabric that I have that wraps all the way around him. So that goes all the way around. It's in dark brown. And then on this side, if I lift up his arm here just a little bit, you can kind of see those little like cartridges or something right there. So those are actually made out of little pieces of wire, and I think they turned out pretty nice because he had some like cartridges or something on that belt, or bullets or something. So that's just my way of doing that. His arms there just painted in gloss black, and he's got the white sleeves painted in there. Then his face, I knew I was going to be using this face ever since I got the UCS Slave one, and this is the Boba Fett head from that. I just felt like I was going to be using that, and I didn't really want to stray away to anything else because I've been so devoted to using this head for like a year and a half that I just went with it, and I think it turned out pretty nice. So it's a modified Boba Fett head, a UCS Boba Fett head. And just kind of adjusted the eyebrows and painted some wrinkles on here and there. Then, of course, had to add the beard. Hopefully he shaves next season, but the beard was painted in dark gray, and then I added in some like light gray and white details because his beard is multiple different colors, so that's just my way of doing that. And he has a black mustache that continues down. I think the beard turned out pretty nice. I've seen some better ones on there, but I think it turned out pretty nice for what it is. So there's the other side of the beard there. And then his hair is just that slick back hair piece with the widow's peak kind of shaved down a little bit because he does kind of have a widow's peak, but it's not as prominent as the one on this hair piece. So I just got rid of the one on this hair piece, but it still kind of has one. Then I washed the hair in dark gray. It's kind of hard to notice, but it's on there. So yeah, that is pretty much it for Negan. Definitely one of my favorite characters in the show now, and I just had a lot of fun making this figure. And yeah, so that is pretty much it for Negan. Alright guys, that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This part has been a lot of fun to make because it's just filled with all these figures that a lot of people have been requesting me to make. I've got so many requests for Dwight and Jesus. Then people are still requesting for Eyeless Carl. Then of course Negan. If I were to pick a favorite out of this bunch, I'd have to go with Negan, of course. He's one of my favorite characters on the show now. So let me know in the comments below which of these figures is your favorite. And also, leave some suggestions for future Walking Dead figures that I haven't made already and that you'd like to see, or maybe new versions of older ones. I know I've got a new Rick that I need to make soon. I'm thinking about an upgraded Sasha, upgraded Michonne, maybe a new Tara, Denise, Spencer, Heath, and then also I'm definitely going to have the savior that was played by Stephen Ogg, and he was like that main savior that was just harassing the gang throughout the episode up until the end there, until Negan was introduced. So I'm thinking about making him. So I think he's actually a definite, so I'm going to make him. Yeah, so if you have any other suggestions, leave them in the comments below. And also, if you haven't already, please check out my social media accounts. Besides YouTube, all of those will be linked to in the description below. And if you haven't already, please do like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys later.